We will be comparing OpenAI Oven with Sonnet 3.5, comparing the two best models in the world on algorithmic and reasoning questions, questions that are tough and even humans find tough time solving them. In last video, we explored what's new released in Oven models, that is how Oven models have better thinking capacity. We did see an invoice example where it is able to detect a discrepancy in invoice by pointing that the product mentioned in the invoice was not released on the date mentioned in invoice. We also explored how Owen achieves this state by chain of thoughts and went through a wonderful example of detective to understand chain of thoughts and how it is similar to our brain's problem solving process. I recommend going through part 1. It's a small video. You will get a better understanding of things. So, we'll be using some really good algorithms and puzzles to test these models. Now, there is a high chance that some of these questions, these models will not be able to solve. Some of them they may solve. But the questions that AI models, the best in class, are not able to solve, I want you guys to try these questions, solve them, and post your answers in the comment below. I'll be waiting to discuss on it. Accept this as a challenge. First is a car refuel problem. This is comparatively easier problem. I thought of starting with an easy problem. So problem is to write a program to provide number of refills required to reach to destination. Let's say 950 is total distance here. This is maximum a car can travel in full tank. And these are the distance at which stops are present. We will ask AI to write a Python program and then we will test some values against that program. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so here is our new version of ChatGPT, that is Oven model, and we put our problem to it. Just modifying the instructions so that we get proper Python program as output. Thinking, thinking, and thinking. So yes, this problem is to be solved using greedy algorithm approach. That is correct. Now let's take this sample input and run against our generated program. And yes, the answer seems to be correct. With this input parameters, car will not be able to make till end, hence -1. If car does not make till end, it should return -1. Let's try with one more input. Yes, this is again a correct answer. Car doesn't need any refuel to reach to destination. So complete 1 mark to Owen model. So I have already solved this problem with Sonnet 3.5. It has generated a Python program and now it's time to test with our inputs. Let's test with the given input to see if the program generated is correct or not. So it has generated answer and it says that I need 3 refills to reach to destination. So the answer is incorrect. Clearly it's a wrong answer. Let's evaluate for second input. here the correct answer was no refills required. And the answer is correct. It says no refills required. And it has properly explained the answer also. However, previous answer was incorrect, but when I saw the program, it was kind of good. Small improvement would had made it. So I gave 0.75 to Sonnet. Alright, next we have an engagement announcement puzzle. Six friends mentioned here are planning a triple engagement announcement party. They want to reveal the couple in a cryptic way based on following clues determine the three engaged couples. Tom, who is older than Jim, is Dorothy's brother. Virginia is the oldest girl. Total age of each couple to be is the same, although no two of us are of the same age. Jim and Jean together are as old as Bill and Dorothy. Let's go. Alright, it solves the problem and it has taken right steps to solve the problem. However, the answer it gives is Tom and Jean, Jim and Virginia, Bill and Dorothy is incorrect. I mean, you can try to solve this problem and find out what is the correct answer. This answer is incorrect. So we give this problem to Sonnet. I must say that Sonnet is very fast. I'm showing you in normal speed and here it has generated the answer. Sonnet used mathematical calculations and equations to generate the answer and the answer it says Tom and Jean, Bill and Virginia, Jim and Dorothy. Well, the answer is correct and it has solved in very less time. So the next question is about city of bridges. So it says I once came upon a description of a remarkable city of the east and the description of the city is it was built upon 10 islands connected in following manner. 5 bridges led from the island to the mainland. Moreover, 4 of the islands had 4 bridges. 3 of the islands had 3 bridges leading from them. 2 of the islands had 2 bridges leading from them. And one of the island could be reached by only one bridge. And then, in a matter of time, I perceived that the whole thing was a hoax and no such city could exist anywhere in this or in any other world. So we have to prove that how did the writer come to this conclusion? I mean, we have to basically to prove this thing. So let's find out. And here is the answer. It has used graph theory to calculate the answer. Approach is correct. And it says that number of edges in graph has to be whole number. So yes, answer is also correct. So complete marks 201. Next we ask Sonnet to solve this problem. Sonnet really has impressive speed and here is the answer. It has also used graph theory to calculate the answer and it says that number of edges in graph has to be even. So yes, answer is correct. So next is a harder question. It's a Sudoku puzzle. As you already know, it's a logic based number placement puzzle. The objective is to fill a 9 by 9 grid with digits so that each column, each row and each of the 9 3 by 3 subgrids contain digits from 1 to 9. We convert this puzzle into 2D array and this time we first ask Sonnet to solve this puzzle. And here we go. Sonnet being quick again, it has generated the answer and in first look clearly the answer is incorrect. So this is now hallucination. It does not produce correct answer but still gives incorrect answer confidently. Can you guys leave a comment of why this answer is incorrect? Next, we switch to oven model. So it took huge amount of time to think, almost 63 seconds, so I fast forwarded this video. It has generated the answer, and looking at the answer clearly, answer is incorrect. On top of that, it is hallucinating. It took a lot of time and also it is hallucinating. Since both of these AI could not solve this problem, so I encourage one of you to solve this problem. It isn't as easy as it seems, and problem should be solved using programmatic approach. So next is penny distribution machine problem, where there are initially n pennies placed in the leftmost box, and the machine then redistributes the pennies iteratively via process where it chooses a box with at least two pennies, removes a pair of pennies from selected box, and places a single penny in the box to the right. The process continues until no box contains more than one penny. And then there is a example to it. I'll explain this problem better, and then there are three questions asked. Now imagine this example. So here we have six pennies in the first place, and then in the first step machine picks up two pennies. It is left with four pennies now, and one penny is shifted to the next box. Then in the next iteration again two pennies are picked up, and then two pennies are placed, and the first box is left with two pennies, and two pennies go to the next box because 1 plus 1 2. Then again two pennies are picked up because it is still having, according to rule it will pick up because it is still having more than one penny, so it will pick up and then it will place to the right box, so it is left with 0. It will pick up two pennies, left with 0, and one penny is added here. Next it will pick up two pennies from here because obviously now the second box has pennies, so it will pick up two, it is left with one, and it places to the right. So this is how it goes. Now I have already put this question to oven model, and here is the answer. The answer, basically the question has three parts to it, and it has answered in three parts individually. Answer is actually correct, but for first two sections it has identified everything properly, and it has also identified this is a binary distribution problem. Solution of first two is correct, but third one isn't very satisfactory. I mean, it should have given more proper numbers, and it did not come up with the proper proofs. Although I did not ask in the second prompt to come up with the proper proofs, I'm sure it could have. However, the third answer, I'm not considering it correct because it is close, but it is not correct. So yes, we can award 0.75 marks to it. Next is Sonnet 3.5 solved it quickly, but answer is not actually correct. First part, it is giving a correct answer, but second two parts aren't correct. Moreover, the formula it has used to calculate the other two answers isn't correct either. But yes, again, it was moving in right direction. Few more prompts and hints would have led to correct solution. For this, we give it 0.25 marks. So here in this part, I'm asking to develop an AI model that is basically in Keras or PyTorch, whatever it wishes to. This AI model will accept string expression as input and will output the desired answer. Now, some of you might say that this can be done using eval expression, but yeah, I mean, so we'll give the problem as of now. We will only use addition and multiplication expression, but it can be expanded further for various complex expressions like differentiation and integration and other arithmetic problems. So basically, model has to be made in such a way that it can evaluate all of those complex expression if included into the data set in future. I mean, the model will not require re-architecturing. So ask is simple. Input complete expression as string and output the answer. I did already run this problem and generated solution. In starting, it generated Python eval solution without, but then I asked I wanted an AI solution, which I can expand later into differentiation and integration. So it generated the solution. AI model with proper dataset generation, LSTM model training in Keras, and the evaluation part. Let's execute this code. So it has generated code for dataset generation. This is proper LSTM model for training the AI model. We trained this model on all the generated hyperparameters and no change has been made in it. And we can see the output. Output is not very great. You can see simple expressions like 5 plus 3 is incorrect. 50 into 36 is again incorrect and it's too different from correct answer. However, it gave me right answer for 6 plus 57. But yes, the model training was not very great, although the model architecture is correct. So we did run this solution on Anthropic. It generated answer very fast as usual. It properly generated all parts of solution. Generated answer is correct, but it will only work on simpler expression. Architecture is limited, I mean not very robust. However, then I did ask it to generate solutions for more complex use cases that can expand to tougher expressions like differentiation and integration. And it did, and solution is correct. Let's execute this code. The program could be executed in one shot. All default parameters are used. And you see the answers are pitch perfect. I mean, correct answers. It can train a model with good accuracy, but as I said, the model only works for simpler expressions. The architecture isn't very robust and scalable. However, I did already train the newly generated code that is on LSTM. So frankly, I'm very impressed by model's speed and also the accuracy in less amount of time it is giving. And it has generated code in so less amount of time. So I would frankly give zero point 0.5 to Owen and 0.75 to Sonnet 3.5. The reason being I'm not giving complete one, obviously due to the architecture reason. Although it generated the right architecture, I tested the architecture, and yes, I mean it was also not completely accurate because obviously LSTM models are tough to train. I mean they're not that easy to train. All right. So next is postage stamp denominations question. And basically, I did run this question against both of these models, and they could not solve it completely. They were in the right direction, but yes, I mean, they were far from solving it completely. I do award 0.25 to both of these models. But since these models could not solve them properly, so I expect you to solve this problem and post it in the comments below. So this is another question for the challenge. So yeah, post it and then we can further maybe make a different video on the solution. So who is the winner? So basically, let's give the comparison what we have seen so far in terms of speed. Obviously, in terms of speed, it is Uh, Anthropic is faster and O1 is slower. In terms of cost, obviously this is cheaper. This is quite expensive because it uses more number of prompts and tokens. In prompting capabilities, obviously by default O1 has an edge because obviously it generates chain of thoughts, it generates the plan. So O1 has that edge over Anthropic. But if you use proper chain of thoughts with Anthropic, then definitely Anthropic will, I'm sure, give quite better results than current state of O1. O1 is definitely sharp, but it is something in progress, it is something in making. In future releases, we can expect something quite better in the planning, uh, well, quite intelligent, you know, better at solving much tougher problems. Then Anthropic, definitely we expect something better with Anthropic in future. But yes, obviously the current state with the current speed and price, Anthropic is quite good. Future potential, obviously we know that both of them have enormous amount of future potential. So yes, I mean, O1 has an edge, but Anthropic is also there. It is not that O1 is far ahead than Anthropic or Anthropic is far lagging as compared to O1. So yeah, I mean, definitely it's a tie. I mean, and but it's a kind of good tie for Anthropic because Anthropic is comparatively slower, faster, and cheaper model.